Kids Bible Club.
Hello boys and girls, it's great to see you all back, and what a lovely day it is today, and great weather we've been having, isn't that right? Well, anyway, we're going to be talking about Paul. Do you remember last week what happened to Paul? Any of you remember? That's right, they was in a big storm, wasn't he? Yes, for 2 whole weeks. Yes, they came into a port, and Paul says we need to stay here, but they had different ideas. They says no, we need to go to the next port, and Paul was like, yeah, the weather's going to be bad. God said the weather's going to be bad, and he knew God would know what the weather, predict the weather, eh? But anyway, they went on, these hardened sailors, 2 weeks they suffered in a storm, isn't that right? 2 weeks, and they're all being sick and not well. And then the next minute they see land, and they're like, uh-oh, the boat hits the rocks, the boat starts to sink. The Romans are like, kill everyone. Paul's like, no, we're going to all swim, get to the land, and all be safe. I know, God told me. But they all jump into the water, swim to the shore, and who knew they were all safe? Every single one of them made it. Isn't that right? Brilliant. Well, we're going to continue that story. So they're in this strange land. They don't know where they are, but there's natives. Natives are locals. And they ask the locals, where are we?
We're in Malta.
Malta? Wow. Malta's a nice place. It's usually hot, but today, not so much. It was raining. They were all wet. They were getting cold, and the natives, the locals, started to make a fire. They started putting a fire together. So, they were all getting a bit chilly and cold. So Paul decided he'll help them, and he'll go and collect some firewood. He looks around for firewood. And he collects some firewood, and he decides to throw it onto the fire. He says, I'll throw it onto the fire, and onto the fire. Next minute, a snake jumps out and bites him in the arm. Well, that's the end of Paul. He drops down on his knees and dies. No, don't be silly. Sure, that story would be ended and that would be wick. No. What happened? And I'm going to read this from the Bible, exactly what happened. It says in the Bible, and it's in Acts chapter 28, and we'll read from verse 4. It says, so when the natives saw the creature, the snake, hanging from his hand, they said to one another, no doubt this man is a murderer, whom though he has escaped the sea, that big storm, remember, last week, yet justice does not allow to live. But you know what? You know what happened? Paul didn't just drop down and die. Paul lifted his arm up in the air and shook the snake off into the fire. Wow. Now this was a poisonous snake. And that's why, and if you listen, look, verse 5, he shook off the creature into the snake, into the fire, and suffered no harm. However, the people, they were expecting that he would swell up and suddenly fall down, like I done at the start, fall down dead. But after they had watched for a long time and saw no harm come to him, they changed their minds and said that he was a god. So because he had got through this crazy, magnificent storm and survived, and everybody on the boat survived, then this poisonous snake bites him in the arm, yet Paul shakes it off, sits down at the fire, as if nothing had happened. People started to think he was God. But you see, he wasn't God. But God was keeping him safe and looking after him. And you know, boys and girls, if we have enough faith, like Paul did, because Paul had faith, he wasn't worried about the snake. He knew that God would look after him. And if we have faith and believe in God, he can be with you no matter what. If you're going through a troubled time at the minute, if you're bored, if you're struggling, God can be there. And all we have to do is talk to him. Just pray to him. And he will talk back to us. It's amazing how this is. And if we believe in our hearts that Jesus came and died on the cross for us, we can have the rest of our life and eternity with him. Isn't that amazing, boys and girls? Well, you see, Paul was on this land for about another 3 months. And he healed people and he preached the word of God. But maybe the next story will tell you what happens next. So I'm going to leave that. But isn't that amazing that not even a snake can harm Paul if he was having faith in God? Brilliant. Well, boys and girls, hope you enjoyed the story. I'm going to go and get dried. Bye!
Kids Bible Club.